IVM.
Going for parties is just so frustrating these days. I mean, your mom will make it a point to come and tell you how her friend's son has secured a house for her, and your wife will also find out that her sister's husband is taking her on a foreign holiday, while you're wondering why you're the only one who doesn't have a plan for the damn future. That's why I never sleep well during the festive time. Unless... www.hdfclife.com. Select. Done. You know what? I think I'll sleep rather well after all. Live calm. With HDFC Life, click to protect life. The Income Plus option offers life cover and steady income stream, so you're always ready for any expenses that life throws at you. Basically, this plan lets you plan your expenses like you plan your vacations. It's that simple. Visit hdfclife.com to know more and for terms and conditions. कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, the language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative. Cyrus Says, JD Majethia is coming on in a minute or two. He's an absolute all-rounder. In case you don't know him, he's a amazing man. There's no question about it. Been in the business even longer than me. And let me tell you something. He is a complete all-rounder. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a producer, he's an organizer, he's an entrepreneur, all that in the entertainment business. But just before he gets on, I want to discuss something because I want him to talk about it first. Just yesterday, we were discussing with somebody for some project. Everybody in our business wants to talk creatives. They never want to talk money. They never talk money. Money is always last. And then the money is really little, you're not interested. Days have passed in 5 meetings and 7 Zoom calls. This happens not just in entertainment, it happens everywhere. Trying to get the painting organized, the guy wants to do, मैं estimate बाद में देता हूँ. I want to see, I want to check, I want to touch. Everyone's creative genius. My point is, why can't we get to the money conversation first? Be straight up and straightforward. Let's talk to someone who handles everything from money to performing in front of the camera.
Love fighting?
We've got you covered.
Check out our show, The Fighting Goat, where we, the voices of the internet, Arjun Chipalkatti and Somesh Kamra, bring to you crazy weekly action on your favorite combat show, The Fighting Goat.
Be it commentary, breakdown, predictions, analysis of styles and techniques.
And of course, your round of favorite fighters.
You can listen to us every Thursday on the IBM Podcast app, website, and all major podcast streaming platforms.
So here he is, the legend himself, JD Majethia. JD, welcome to our... I say it with great fanfare, JD, but there's no music, there's no fans, and there's no audience, no one clapping. So it's back to theater days.
But when Cyrus, you are there, no, we don't require anything. No music, nothing. Because music mein kahin, we may miss your humor. We may miss your punchline. So I always prefer Cyrus without music.
So the mashhoor awaz of Cyrus above music is what you're saying. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. But JD, I want to ask you one question before I get to this discussion, which is, and then of course we will talk about Wagle Ki Duniya, your career as much as we can. But first thing I want to ask you is, do you remember 1993 ki baat hai or something like that? There was two actors called to Gold Spot Factory in Andheri to shoot a film with Rayo Noble. And these two actors were JD Majethia, Cyrus Brocha. And we spent 2 days without shooting. He was just lighting. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Rayo Noble, he was like, I thought, that time, I felt initially, when the first time you start shooting with somebody, you feel genius here. It takes too much time. Perfection. Kya shot aayega? And lighting, arey baapre. Then you have one conversation. Then you have second conversation. Then you realize isko malum hi nahi hai. He doesn't know what to do. And then those 2 days, imagine Cyrus and JD, two such people together. So Rai ko jo malum hai, wo bhi bhul gaya.
But I can't forget.
A good salesman and a bad salesman. I remember. A good salesman and a bad salesman.
Correct. Yeah. Because we must have learned the lines, done everything 200 times, waiting for the damn shot to happen. And ultimately, let's tell people it was an office set. Nothing great. It was one bloody desk. Tu piche, main aage, something like that. And that's it. What the hell was he lighting?
Yeah. And that was also, again, not an ad film. It was just a promotional film for some bike presentation. AV. Corporate film.
For people who don't understand.
There was learning lesson.
Correct. We start at corporate film level, which is not very serious. Then you go to promos, then you go to ad film, then you go to TV, then feature. That's the order. Ranji Trophy in Test match, before that University cricket, something like that. But JD, what fun it was. Imagine We came there full of energy. I mean, you must have learned as a producer later on, as you were to become a producer. You must have learned from all these mistakes, no? You
So
call the actors,
much.
you kill their enthusiasm. They're bored by the time the shot happens. Everything
Yeah.
that was wrong is very good actually, because it went in your head. Ki, this is completely the wrong way to do things.
Yeah. You know what I learned, the most important thing, and that before Raya only, but I could put, when you learn, sometimes you not been able to use it at one place. Theater, rehearsals, getting organized, grand rehearsals, and then the show. So whenever you're opening something to people, see to it they are well rehearsed. So be it they are actors or in
Technician.
TV or technician or anybody, see to it that at least you are well rehearsed. Except when you're on a show with Cyrus, be spontaneous. Wait for him
But
to bring out the best from you.
JD, for us, it's different. Our shows are so bad, we have to rehearse the audience. Otherwise, they have no idea what's going on. So we call the audience for the rehearsal only. Huh. But I second topic before we start your lovely story of growth in the industry and why the beard. I want to know that also. Tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Now, as a producer, you're a producer, you're an entrepreneur. सब कुछ करते हैं.
Yeah.
The great thing is you can see it from both sides all the time. I love the fact that you're that, as against the producer who's in one camp and the financier in one camp,
Yeah.
artist is other camp, vendor is other camp. You are everything. So in the sense that if you don't understand, nobody understands. Why do they never talk money? Just now we're doing a project with somebody. For the creative, we've had 3 meetings, including the Zoom meeting with 13 people, which I can't hear anyone talk. Everybody
Yeah.
talks at the same time. All that musti is going on. Finally, they come to the money after 3 days and 3 meetings, and it's rubbish money. And what a waste of time.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it will happen.
I'm covering the guy who's getting the coffee. Huh?
He might be the star of the show. Very often, he looks fantastic, boss.
Raja is his name. Raja is my guy.
Yeah.
Raja, thank you. Abhi disturb नहीं कुछ नहीं.
नहीं, Raja को frame में ला रहा 2 सेकंड.
Raja, एक मिनट. Raja.
The chat is completely filled with who is Raja.
Raja.
Everybody.
Raja, hi bolo. Hi to karo. And I have one more guy. One more person in my one room. One second.
Is his name Appu? Is his name Appu?
No. One second. I have my lovely Khichu with me.
What a beauty. What's his name?
Khichu. Now you can't say hi, hello, and bye. Bye.
No, he can. Let me be.
The minute we say bye, Khichu.
This show is horrible.
लेके जा बेटा राजा, लेके जा. The minute we say bye, Khichu, he immediately rushes to the main door. उसको bye बोला ना घर में, वो he thinks bye बोला तो लेके जाएगा.
Wow. At least the dog is well trained. Forget the actors. But JD, coming back to my point, can you tell me why they don't discuss the money first, and not just entertainment? In everything where we work with people, they never tell you the bhav. That comes last.
Yeah, because on a funnier and a very real side is that everybody wants to make maximum profit for themselves. Whenever you deal, second thing, you do not want to, in today's time, lose money. Now, on a serious note, that, see, when you are dealing with multiple talents and every 2, 3, 4, 6 months, the prices, our industry is not fixed rate industry. So prices keep changing. So when we meet a person, 6 months pehle, the same person who worked with you may have a different rate today. So you do not go with that. First, you want to creatively convince that person, present something. And there are multiple people involved in a project. This is not कि एक आदमी को ले लिया काम हो गया. With you, Cyrus को hire को show हो गया. But with other things.
JD, you're making me feel so bad, because what you're saying is the opposite of what's happening. You see, my rate, which was there in 90s, that was much more. My rate now is just getting less and less. Every time they meet me after 6 months, you were saying 6 months ke baad the rate changes. For your actor, he's charging you more. For us, we are charging them less. It's ridiculous how the world has changed.
No, I'll tell you, on TV, things have been like that. Because the kind of money we used to get earlier, we are really finding the budgets very challenging these days. Because there are now 3 layers. Now you suddenly see TV, then web series, and the films. Correct. Films, again, you have small budget film, medium budget film, then, Karan Johar films. So, or Sanjay Leela Bhansali, I would say. So, there's no budget. Once you shoot, बाद में पता चलता है कितने करोड़ का picture बना. So, I'm saying there are other ways. But overall, if you go to see, slowly, the industry has become an economy-driven model. Even as Sanjay Leela Bhansali, with all due respect, is a superb maker. But he knows now, everybody knows, that there is an economics to every product you make. You cannot make something which can't be sold, which can't get you your money, GST and everything.
So, we'll have to stop the podcast, yaar, if this is true.
This is true.
This can't be sold.
Now look at me.
For 6 years.
See, Cyrus, this show, your podcast, this show, like money, if you talk money, no money for me today. So sometimes actors
So
come free
knowledge.
of cost.
Every guest charges. What are you doing? No, I'm just kidding. No. 2 minutes later, the PA will call.
They will immediately
Raja will
say
make
break, break, break.
but
So
then
I'm
we have to
saying
pay. We'll have to pay Khichu also. Who knows?
for appearance.
Guest
And Raja,
appearance. Uh,
and Raja,
Raja charges
Raja
too
will ask for
much.
1 day leave. Sir, वो एक
One
दिन
day.
काम किया ना आपके साथ, एक छुट्टी.
Raja looked like the guy who will ask for conveyance also.
I heard of
Sorry.
a really a very big singer yesterday that उसके घर से बाजू में स्टूडियो था 3 मिनट 3 minutes away a studio म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर के घर पे वो रहा उधर सिंगर उसने पेट्रोल मनी लिखा 3,000 रुपया तो आई जस्ट हर्ड यस्टरडे सो
अरे राउंड मार के उसको ट्यून आ गया ना पॉसिबल
जीपीएस ने उसको किधर भेज दिया मालूम नहीं सो कमिंग टू द लाइक दिस यू नो on a serious note again that because the industry has become very economy driven and everybody is trying to deliver quality because see viewer jo 90s early 20s mein tha now that viewer has become smarter usko quality product chahiye aaj look at the kind of television and everything has gone you know the kind of technology we have all have come across so the products have to be very well made and at the same time the volumes have gone up you see the kind number of films were being made many more you don't have one film on one Friday you have 5 4 sometimes 6 and you have now your web series films for web then your documentaries you have TV shows TV used to be once a week 13 episodes today you see 6 days a week 7 days a week and what not 1 hour ka show ek hafta daily so volume when there is a volume and money has to be it's good money decent money I have seen actors जिनके पास पहले मोटरसाइकिल नहीं था आज गाड़ी में घूम रहा है so overall if you see the
but some of them may be doing Uber to supplement income
yeah true that's true but that's
hard world
but see the line is of talent and if you not that talented and you still try to come in this industry you may not have a Uber also one fine day because you also realize this is a competitive world because not just only gives you money the other profession gives you money but this gives you fame respect love lifestyle exposure and it grows you as a person
affairs many people ask me मेरे को affair करना है TV industry join करूं is it a good idea I say of course lot of affairs don't worry JD we are not discussing all that we are too old men now lifestyle mein generic fair enough okay listen we have to talk about you we can't keep talking about all this let's go first into this 1 year firstly congratulations what an iconic show it is I'm going back to I think maybe 90s when we were young and the first Wagle Ki Duniya came out it was you know of course there was only one channel basically so much more exposure in those days so take us back to what it's been like to put it together the new crew production and the anniversary
when you say about it was late 80s and I remember that Wagle Ki Duniya jab aata tha how we used to that TV viewing pattern was very different and it makes me very emotional when I say particularly about this thing हम किसी और के घर पे वागले की दुनिया देखते थे you know that time you were allowed to go to watch television on somebody else's house आप जाके बैठते थे यार अभी आएगा छाया गीत
there was no social distancing you could just go to someone's house ring the bell and say boss मैं आ गया
and even if they are not there you can switch the TV on and you can sit and कभी कोई खाना भी मिल जाता था कि बैठा है
is that how you met Raja किसी और के घर पे चुपचाप you brought him back to yours 25 साल के बाद
Raja is almost living like that कि कभी टीवी वगैरह साफ तो नहीं है चल अपना है सब कुछ but nice guy so coming back to those are very emotional you know those days when we saw Wagle Ki Duniya had one episode also like that and I never in my lifetime imagined that I will be making the same show and you know taking it to the millions of houses of people you know one fine day God has been kind with me but now when you look at the journey of Wagle Ki Duniya I worked with R.K. Lakshman ji earlier. R.K. Lakshman Ki Duniya जैसा एक काम किया था. And this credit goes to Neeraj Vyas, who's the business sort of Sony Sab. He one Friday we were working on 2-3 concepts. One Friday called me and said, JD, what do you think of रात को dinner ले रहा था late हो गया था and said, what do you think of Wagle Ki Duniya यार? And I said, give me a time till tomorrow morning. Next day I called Usha Lakshman. I spoke to whatnot and she said, I was remembering you only. That Wagle Ki Duniya हम मेरे पास पुराना 18 episodes है. Let's do that. I said, no, not that. New, fresh episodes if you want to do, I'm interested. Sir, how will you do it? Anjan ji, Bharti, I said, वो मैं बाद में बताता हूँ. If you say yes, I'll work. Immediately, whatever I work, my best of work with Aatish. Aatish is like, when I speak about hats off, our shows, it's Aatish, equally Aatish and JD. So, I called up Aatish. I said, Aatish, let's meet. ऐसा है. तो we met in the evening. We said, वागले की दुनिया अगर वापस करना है, ताड़. Aatish gave 3 ideas. I gave 1. And we said, done. Neeraj, next day morning, we were with Neeraj. Neeraj, this is how we'll make Wagle Ki Duniya episodic. Every episode will have one story, one episode. How will you pull this, JD? Daily, one episode. I said, shuru karte ho jayega. New format. It's not only in Indian television history, Cyrus. World over, you will not find any show which has so many number of episodes and single story. Lately, with public demand and with we realized that this story has a potential, you started moving to 2, sometimes 3 or 4. But that's how we started, and immediately we said, "पर पुराना नहीं कर सकते." Like Anjan Srivastav, who played the Wagle, old senior Wagle, he's not a common man today. Today's common man has changed. Correct. If you go to see, today's common man is a small car, city में रहता है. मुंबई का common man है. मेरा जैसा,
JD, you should have called me. There's no one more common than me. Even Raja is above. With due respect, Raja, मैं तो राजा को सलाम करता है. इसलिए बुलाया उसको frame पे. Just to give him some respect.
No, I too also उनको सलाम नहीं किया तो दिन में खाना नहीं आता है. So middle class, same year middle class guy still for food depend on Raja.
Like they say, school का boss कौन है? Principal कभी नहीं. Watchman. तेरे को अंदर जाने का college या school में तेरे को watchman पहचाना तो अंदर जाओ. नहीं तो gone. No chance.
और पहले का philosophy था ना, तुम्हारा राजा अच्छा है तो प्रजा अच्छा है. तो राजा अपन प्रजा है. So then we thought of that common man. Today's common man is very important. We have to graduate from what it was done in 80s to today's common man. And today's common man is a middle class guy who has other issues. वो flat में रहता है, वो भी चौल में नहीं रहता. You can't say कि चौल में. Middle class, mentally middle class होना चाहिए. Mentally middle class is what? That you have a small little family.
और टैक्स भरते. जो टैक्स भरते बेचारा वो मिडिल क्लास है.
Correct. Text चुराने से बहुत डरते. That's my daughter's special appearance, Misri.
Hello.
Misri, you can say hello to Cyrus. Come.
Hello.
The lovely
all
daughter I have, yaar.
All welcome.
Please, यार.
Hi.
इनका फीस में बहुत अपना खर्चा हो जाता है. मिडिल क्लास रहते हैं.
हाँ. She doesn't appear middle class from any angle.
Daddy. She has a class. So schools. COVID ने ना सब online school.
She wants Mercedes S class. That's what she's saying. Daddy, yeah. Mercedes S class. Get the class. Right.
And she says, Daddy, stop your humor. I have to go for my class.
They must be so embarrassed when Daddy and Daddy's friends want to say hello. This is the worst moment in the life of a teenager.
But making this show, very real, like the Wagles. Okay, this is the world we live in. And trust me, exactly we have dealt Wagle like this. That hello, जो real life है ना, please understand that and address that. Address real life issues, today's issues. So that's how that Wagle and this Wagle were different. We have taken today's Wagle, who has 2 kids, who also brings parents. COVID. Okay, we started during the COVID time. That's a very, very different phase of entertainment. See, entertainment has changed a little due to COVID. The kind of phase we were in, TV was looking for something very different and new. So we thought that today's family, जो parents भी अलग रहते थे, कहीं you could not reach out to your parents, your family members during COVID. Lockdown आ गया and quarantine वगैरह जो हो रहा था. So you all have to live by yourself all alone. And this guy was, नहीं यार, parents are staying in Dadar, he was staying in Borivali. He said, somehow I couldn't go, I have to get it. So people felt, and we wanted to make it, that this show is very much real. We just don't call it a slice of life. It is a slice of life. We have taken a slice from family and issues today we address. We address issues like 80,000 crore की बात नहीं होती टीवी में जो होती 80,000 lakh की बात नहीं होती 80,000 पर मंथ का सैलरी में आदमी कैसे जिएगा EMI कैसे भरेगा. The daughter was earlier put in a vernacular medium school. Now she has a pronunciation to English का problem है. छोटा बेटा English medium school में गया. That kind of issues. Wife was working, wife is now at the home, domestic कुछ काम कर लेती कभी कभी छोटा मोटा. She wants to pursue a career but can't manage it because पूरा घर चला रहा. पेरेंट्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ गई तो बेटा पेरेंट्स की भी इनकम, उनकी मेडिसिन and what not. उसमें एक पेरेंट बीमार होता है, किसी का चश्मा टूट जाता है, तो अपना कुछ एक रेस्टोरेंट का डिनर कैंसिल हो जाता है. Things like that. And also as a space crunch, the couple is very compatible. You know, middle class family, if you show a husband wife झगड़ लेते, but they're still together. They take almost all the calls together because they can't afford also. This afford word plays, in a multiple ways. They can't afford also to take calls.
अगर ये बात है तो I am so middle class, you have no idea. Because I can't tell you, that never leaves my mind. Kharch, budget, cost to company, these are the words in the head all the time.
True. And the wives, they are fantastic homemakers and managers. Huh? हमारा भी ना, we may humor about all this, but sometimes we do not know, and they understand people around us also so well. We may become emotional, or we may become sometimes chalta hai yaar. They are very sharp. So we have this wife who is quite and short-tempered. See, nobody deals with such protagonist who's a short-tempered. They have on TV, you have seen wives, either they have a kuch marital issue, or they are very good. They keep suffering. And no, this protagonist is a right representative of a middle class, at large, the Indian audiences. They relate with her.
Based on anybody we know?
I would say, today is my wife's birthday and she's not around. She's on a solo trip, so I can't say things like that.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Based on a lot of family, lot of friends I know, to be honest, a lot of things come from my own journey as a middle class family. I've lived in a joint family. I've seen my bhabis, my brothers, and I've seen myself. I'm still a mentally middle class guy. Yeah. Middle class se na middle class admi, middle class I don't see just as economy. It's a lot about your thinking, and it's a beautiful place to stay. Even if you become rich, because you use your money wisely. Rich people don't use their money wisely, and I always say that money one should be using wisely, which is a philosophy of a middle class, which reflects in Wagle Ki Duniya. They'll use life wisely. In spite of every challenges, Cyrus, you will see middle class family will be celebrating all occasions. आप गणपति देखो, नवरात्रि देखो, we may not go, people से न कल सुबह का, they will celebrate a दिवाली उनके घर पे कंडील लगेगा, दिया जलेगा. They will celebrate almost every occasion. They are never tired of celebration. Why? Because those small things gives them happiness. To me, they are always very positive people and people living with hope for a better tomorrow. मैंने पहला मारुति कार लिया था ना, I was much more happier and that made me so happy and satisfied. पहला vehicle यार. बाद में Honda CR-V लिया, Mercedes. It never, gave me that pleasure which my first motorcycle or my first Maruti 800 gave me.
I have the same philosophy with my first girlfriend. और उसके बाद second girlfriend था, अभी तो बीवी भी है. But you're right. If she watches this show, JD, we are screwed. Already we discussed the possibility the character is based on who you praised enough, but you also mentioned कि short temper है. So that's -1. And now I have said this to -2.
I can't say that because I married my first girlfriend. She's my wife today.
So let's not bring up your second girlfriend because that's not a good conversation, right?
Especially not today.
No, but I get exactly what you're saying. About the philosophy of being middle class, which remains even if you become super successful. If you're born properly into middle class, the mentality remains the same. So you appreciate life better, and you don't change things too much. You may have a Mercedes, but you're still celebrating Diwali in the same way. It's not like you've got like 400 guests for no reason coming over. It's still the same neighbors, friends, close relatives, all that.
You certainly don't fly to Maldives for your birthday or your daughter's birthday or somebody else's birthday. You still, when I say middle class, I say a lot about traditions. See, middle class people, they have a lot of traditions, and India is full of, the kind of Indian culture on television and traditional you have to be. So there are so many things which people wanted to see in one show. Our television, unfortunately, moved from lot of reality. They went into the kind of, humor we are cracking about the girlfriends, the relations, and the protagonist, the wife, always is a sufferer. Very few shows where they could show that she is a inspiration.
Normal human being.
Normal human being. And she is a inspiration. Aesthetically, you can live somebody's life. Here we have tried our protagonist, Rajesh Wagle, Vanna Wagle, even the kids. When there's one person, no, who's your earning member of the family is middle class, no, everybody around him is middle class. The wife also lives a middle class life. The children also lives a middle class life. The daughter, even if is falling in love with somebody, she has to know that, oh, okay, I can't have this kind of lifestyle. I can't fall for such guys unless and this love from both ends. The kid, the younger guy, the kid in our show, he's ambitious and wants to become a rich, which usually happens with kids. That yeah, why every time I have to hear no for some money or a game which my friend has. And again, Wagle is a show of friendship. बराबर नेक्स्ट डोर नेबर, उसके बाद दो फ्लैट है, वो ब्रोकर है, उस पैसा बहुत है, कल्चर नहीं है. सो वी हैव पुट लाइफ that you live in comparison also. See, middle class is always living in comparison and always you keep struggling. Your struggle, and so that's where our family believes that don't live in comparison. Whatever you have, you can be happy about it, and you can manage it. Challenges are there, but challenges nahi hai to life nahi hai. There are no colors, otherwise it does not bring out the best from you. So this is a fabric of Wagle Ki Duniya, which is being live by people because they see, sir, ये तो हमारा story है. And as I mentioned earlier, Cyrus, that this show is about like a one episode story, sometimes maximum two, sometimes three. So what happens? The form, it's a game changer. That people feel we can take one episode and made ने ना काम छोड़ दिया.
Which JD, that is the same as the original, no? Original also was one episode ka one story, if I remember correctly. Very clear and simple.
Yeah, but that used to be once a week, Cyrus.
Once a week.
But that's a once a week. And today's time, we are Monday to Saturday. So to produce Monday to Saturday, 26 episodes a month.
How do you write? Who's writing so much? You alone?
I have a team.
Aatish,
that's why. See, Aatish, me, and we have a team of writers, a script head called Jayesh Patil, fantastic guy. And we have writers like, I would like to mention their names. I hope I don't forget Pankaj Trivedi, Abbas Hirapurwala. These guys have written shows individually. Sneha Desai. Then I have Sambhav, Shivam, Vibhavari, Harsha Jagdish. Then I have two more, Ashwini. So, and a team of Sonal Ganata. I have 9-10 writers. 2 or 3 of them, I've forgotten 1 or 2. They have seriously.
Also part of middle class mentality. Sabko yaad nahi kar sakte. It's not possible.
See, these guys are not there now. They were earlier there. Teams have we keep adding writers also so that we get fresh stories, and also stories being written by sometimes one person. There's sometimes just a story idea. Other guy writes the screenplay. Third person the dialogues to maintain the flavor, etc. So what happens is we do constantly keep churning out the episodes at a script level. Why? Again, shooting. We have created 4 or 5 locations on our set. Like you will have small houses, then we have school set, office. Also, Wagle Ki Duniya here is a lot about his office culture. He goes to office mein kya hota hai? There's a funny side, there's a boss, there's somebody else who doesn't let you live easily. We know at our work culture, kind of stress we all go through. You have one not right colleague, not a right boss, not motivating, then you know what happens to you. And wo stress like ghar pe aana, and it impacts the life. And recently we dealt with one fantastic issue, which is so relatable to all of us today. Rajesh Wagle getting a heart attack in the 40s.
Ooh.
Such a stressful life we all are living. We don't take care of our health. And suddenly you realize that, oh my God, if something like this happens to the main earning member of the family, then what happens? You have kids, you have a wife, you have old parents. Then we introduce another thing, that then you should be wife who was educated, wife who used to work earlier. You should always have another income in today's time. It's a strength. And how that wife decides that now I have to go and work, because if something like this happens to the family, hamara family chalega kaise? So we pass on such messages also. We actually are impacting lives right now. And one very interesting aspect of is we do most things with humor, laced with humor. It's a true sense, a cute, a likable, lovable show kids also can enjoy in true sense.
But I can just see LIC coming as sponsor. He has a heart attack. That puts fear in everyone. The insurance ki importance hai usme. And on top of that, the wife working, everybody else working, showing you how to go through this situation with your head up. So basically, what you're saying is the empathy level is great, and I think that right now on Indian television, as you mentioned, we're not trying to be rude because I know you've done lots of shows with lots of people, but there's a lot of what you were trying to say very politely. I think is a lot of the shows were not too real in the recent past. They started going into this over drama about affairs and this and that, and it started becoming same old, and a little bit unreal. So after some time, in a sense, we have gone back to the 80s, where it almost looks like
Yeah.
in the 80s we were getting it right. We were getting it
Yeah,
right, the
yeah.
formula. We were talking
Yeah.
correctly. We were talking to the middle class about the middle class experience, and now you brought it back. And it's not
Yeah.
changed. It's changed in some ways because of the world changing,
Yeah.
but it's not changed. The same aspirations,
Yeah.
ideas, thoughts, all the same. Is that the reason you think why it's so successful?
Yeah. I must say why it is successful again. The cast. When we decided today's middle class guy, we had kuch nahi, ek banda, Sumit Raghavan, outstanding guy, and he presented it. He's done it so well. You finding he a middle class. You know Sumit Raghavan.
Of
So
course.
Sumit Raghavan is the right Rajesh Wagle for today. Then in his wife's character, Vandana Wagle, Pariva, another fantastic actor. The kids are played. You have, when you cast for a family, you have to the right family poster. I mean, hum do, hamare do jaisa family. You have to
Correct.
cast right for such shows like how R.K. Lakshman, Kundan Shah. Big credit to R.K. Lakshman ji first of all, who created this character, and Kundan Shah, who and Ravi Oja, who produced earlier, and so I have to give big time credit to them, and Usha Lakshman and everybody. But the casting again, I was coming to the young girl we wanted, who's at the cusp, 18 year. We have Chinmay Salvi, Sakhi, who's playing Sakhi, and the boy Atharva Wagle, who's being played by Shihan Kapai. They and other cast. If you look at Bharti Ashekaran, of course, getting Anjan Srivastav back. So the right cast for such family, which is so believable, and you do not find them makeup in their costume, those heavy saris and things like sets and everything. The kind of so entire production was executed in such. I have good team of directors led by Samir Kulkarni, then Deepesh, Amit, and I at times go and direct on set, and Aatish come. So we have a fantastic team who could present this, as I told you, Monday to Saturday, and bringing out so many nuances was not. It's
And
still
keeping
not
it
very
fresh,
easy,
because you're
and
using a
keeping it
roster of
fresh.
writers, roster of directors. You're, that way it stays fresh, I'm sure. So nobody gets bored doing it also because you're mixing it up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Topical, and we are like recently, I would say, 5th February, 6th February,
Happy
Lataji passed
birthday.
away.
Happy birthday, 5th February.
Oh,
हाँ.
thank you,
नहीं,
thank you,
थोड़ा
thank you.
रिसर्च किया मैंने, थोड़ा रिसर्च किया. Luckily.
Research में थोड़ा उल्टा भी है. My birthday on
हाँ.
papers, officially I'm born, official, my record says 14th February. So
अरे?
Valentine Day.
So
Forget
what is the
it.
actual date?
5th February. We come back to, and I'm celebrating 17th February also, because वो हिंदू तिथि के हिंदू तिथि कम this time on 17th. So
Parsis have the same problem. The birthdays go around in circles. People get very irritated. अब तो हो गया ना जन्मदिन? नहीं, it's a long story. Cultural issue.
long story. So coming back to the 6th February, our topic that we are so contemporary also at times and topical also. 6th February, Lataji passed away.
Yes.
Was a Sunday. 7th February, 6th February evening, I shot Shraddhanjali sequence, put it in my episode on Monday, and Monday you can see on 7th February, we could pay homage to Lataji by saying that आप कोई शब्द आपकी कमी पूरी नहीं कर सकता, अच्छे से कुछ शब्द बोले, और एक लता जी का गाना हमने सुमित, भारती जी, पूरे फागले फैमिली के पास we made them sing, and 7th we telecast. So we make it feel the way the nation felt. So Wagle is so much, you will find it is today. आज मेरे साथ है, so contemporary, so day to day life के साथ जुड़ता है, वैसा शो बना के रखा है हमने. So we take
That's
such,
Teddy, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm thinking of the pressure of Monday to Saturday, keeping in the world in mind. It's one thing you're really writing a script with the references of the world in mind so that people can identify कि इसी हफ्ते में इसी point पे ये हो रहा है. I would say so much extra pressure unnecessarily. I would think you shoot 40 episodes in 10 days and then take a break. It's not like that. You're literally shooting week to week.
Week to week.
Keeping in mind.
We shoot.
So the word dunya is very important here because that remains. The actual dunya is happening. It's not just the meaning of his world, it's the world also around.
And we also go to schools. We also go to, like, the young daughter goes to cafe. She has a love story. Also, we have Wives World. We have World of Wagles. एंड वागले की दुनिया में नेबर्स हैं उनकी सोसाइटी में, वॉचमैन से लेके सबका प्रॉपर कैरेक्टर लाइक एट द राजा. आई नो आई कांट लिव विदाउट वन राजा इन माय लाइफ. मेरे घर पे मुझे ये सब काम करना है, तो कुक है, वाइफ ऑल्सो, आई वांट हर टू वर्क, सो शी कांट कीप मेकिंग जस्ट टिफिन. सो थिंग्स लाइक दैट you will find in Wagle is so again in a very real space. कि आज घर में एक सुपर स्टोरी है, एक घर में बहुत टाइम के बाद वाइफ ने हलवा बनाया. समटाइम्स राजा एंड अदर पीपल अपने कुछ फ्रिज में रखा है, वो मिसिंग है दूसरे, वो कौन खा गया? सर आपने कल बोला था ना. अरे वो नहीं खाना था. तो आपका कुछ फेवरेट बना है तो फ्रिज में रखा था और मेड ले गई. क्यों? भाभी मैडम ने बोला वो फ्रिज में तेरा खाना रखा है, ले लेना. तो उसका लगा वाह भाभी ने आज हलवा बना के रखा है मेरे लिए. पूरा फैमिली बिल्डिंग के कुछ नेबर्स रात को हलवा खाने आते हैं, हलवा तो मेड ले गई, आधा खा लिया है मेड ने, जो उसको पता चलता है तो लेकर आती है. नो नो नो, इट वाज गुड, जिसके नसीब में.
बट दैट्स अ फैंटास्टिक इशू. आई एम जस्ट थिंकिंग it बहुत सही है, because when that happens you can't even say anything, because in
You
a sense
can't say.
it's a technical error, so it's not really anybody's fault. Yeah. But I can imagine you're waiting to have it and then they've taken it. Yeah.
And she gets to know by the watchman कि तू कुछ चुराया क्या खाना? नहीं, क्या बात करता है, वो हलवा मिसिंग, तो मेरे को दिया भाभी ने. और you feel ये इसमें एपिसोड कैसा बना? बट फन, इमोशन, ड्रामा, एवरीथिंग इन दिस, बिकॉज somebody really was emotional about wife. इतना मैंने वो किया, and there is a superb drama, and we have so many such stories. We also, as kids also, see, when we also touch issues, Cyrus, on prime time about menstruation and how घर में कुछ सालों तक आप किचन में नहीं जा सकते हो, छू नहीं सकते हो. When we did this episode at 9 p.m. to talk such issues, it's not very easy. कि इतने सालों से लड़कियों को आप बोलो 4 दिन कोने में बैठो हिंदुस्तान में, and we face so much reaction भी आया कि भाई ऐसे क्या कर रहे हो. But we want to push the envelope.
Tackle the issue.
Yeah, and we want to push the envelope. यार come on, सालों पहले कुछ होता था यार. We have all have moved today in life.
So you got negative feedback for that?
No. A couple of people will always write. See, when you push the envelope, you're going to have, but then it trended on Twitter, and so many TV serials usually don't trend on Twitter because वो audience आता ही नहीं है TV देखने.
अलग है.
But Wagle Ki Duniya has trended on Twitter so many times. It was one of the most viewed TV show of 2021. And so we push such issues also. Now when children are watching, we had episodes of good touch, bad touch, child molestation. Now imagine 9 p.m. you address such issues, but we got such good response from parents. School में groups होते हैं. I was called from one school, which is a very popular school in Vileparle, Juhu. It's a very, very popular school. I'm not just taking the name because I'm not sure which.
Parking का nightmare होता है. I know which you're talking about. Always trying to park the car there is impossible. But वो अलग बात है. That's another episode for you. I'm giving you an idea for another episode. Huh? Parking outside schools. Huh? Sorry, you were called to give a lecture.
So they invited me. They invited me, and then parents were talking that we have made it a point. The school have made it a point that 9 to 9:30 kids can watch Wagle. The school, the principal spoke in front of me that we have asked the students to watch Wagle Ki Duniya. Not only they learn values and other things, they also get exposed to such good topics which school cannot cover in their curriculum.
No, I think that it's great. About time. Television is reflecting real life, sir. So kudos to you. Well done. I will ask for the Bharat Ratna as soon as the show is over, and I'll make sure you get it. But I know we are joking about it, JD, but I think you must be really satisfied doing a show like this where you can mix your creativity with the factual world that's happening. I know it's a lot of pressure doing a day-to-day basis. Sunday pe ye ghatna hua, and Tuesday your show is on air. I don't think anywhere in the world they can go at that speed. It's really taking a chance. Plus, you can cover the Tyohars and all, I presume, because your date is almost exactly the same. So you're running parallel to Holi, you'll run parallel to Diwali.
Yeah. And at times, because of the competition, 9 p.m., you have the kind of competition, you have to take care of the...
Only एक आदमी है, वो चिल्लाते रहते हैं, वो panels होते हैं उसमें. There's just that one guy, यार. What's that show called? Nation Wants to Know. I hope you do one episode on that also. Wagle is called as common man to represent, something, some issue. Let him be on the panel. उसको बात करने के नहीं रहता है. वो बहुत गुस्सा हो जाता है. He comes back home. That's it. Chalo, I'm writing the episode for you.
Please, we would love to. I would love to have you on the show once. And what I was trying to say is that sometimes, what the system is happening, like writing and all. It is Aatish has written so many good shows, and he's my business partner, co-producer, and fantastic talented guy. Right now, what happens at times, because मैंने इसका ज़्यादा responsibility लिया है, तो morning we have to give feedback. We talk to actors almost on every day. You know why? Because we treat one story as one film. So I tell them that even an emotion of fear is different in two different episodes. That if you were like, there's a girl who played this character Saki. I said, fear of she's being stalked. I said that is different, and you've seen somebody hitting somebody. The violence is different, and emotion, concern. There's such small, tender emotions we worked on. जो क्या है ना, मुझको एक अच्छा चैनल के हेड ने बोला था, बोलता यार तुम ना बहुत हल्का फुल्का प्रोग्राम बनाते हो और आजकल ना स्टेरॉइड ड्रामा चलता है. I said, what steroid? He said, ये सब नहीं चलता यार जेडी, तुम ना इसको ड्रामा लाओ यार, एंगेजिंग ड्रामा लाओ. I said, वो एंगेजिंग ड्रामा एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता. बोलता है सब चैनल पे देखो, सब वही एग्जिस्ट करता है. बट आई मस्ट मेंशन that there are a few people who are really trying hard to change, and I am telling you right now, I don't know whether I can take name of other shows or not, but still I would like to take, because that show is really doing well. And Anupama, one show, Rupali Ganguly has really done a good job, and the team, that it addresses some issues like, good issues. And I would come back to Wagle Ki Duniya is that Wagle Ki Duniya, I have Sumit Raghavan from Sarabhai, and there's Rupali, so thoda close to heart hai. But amazing work has been done by Wagle Ki Duniya in a way where it has impacted lives. See, entertainers have power to impact lives. So आप जब tenderness भूल जाते हो ना, which was existing. We all have loved so many good shows in 80s यार. Television का volume वगैरह बढ़ गया, popular हो गया. Sorry Cyrus, I know you're waiting to speak.
I would love this point, because I'm trying to say one thing. Ki it happens in art all over the world and over hundreds of years. Is sometimes you have to go back to go ahead. It looks like we had a golden era which we grew up on, in a sense. Where Rajni, I'm just thinking, all the Ye Jo Hai Zindagi, all those were top of the line. Hum log, everything was top of the line. So in a sense, you're going back to go forward, which is, I think, fantastic. Speaking of which, JD, sorry, we have to take a break. I've got 3 messages saying that we have talked too long, that Wagle Ki Duniya ki 2 episodes would have been played in this time. So we have to take a quick 1 minute break. Just stay there. I've interrupted you, but we'll come back in a second. Here's the break. JD is with us. Stay where you are.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says, film producer Siddharth Roy Kapoor joins Cyrus to talk about his latest web series, Rocket Boys. On Shunyavan, Shailaditya and I meet Aditya Sharma. He's the co-founder at The Soul Store. We talk to him about how the popular brand came to be and what their journey has been like. On a show about crypto, Rohan talks to Rahul Sanghi, co-founder at Tiger Feathers. They explore Web 3.0 and its advantages and disadvantages. On Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav weaves a fascinating story that connects Gujaratis, Uganda, and the last king of Scotland. And on Hanswani, we hear the story Bhoot Ka Kalakar. It explores the conflict between art and its artists. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Also, please do tell a friend. It really does help us when you spread the word about our podcast. And I'd also like to ask you if you could rate or recommend wherever you listen to our podcast. And speaking of where you listen to this show, if you're on an Android phone, do check out our new Android app. We have a brand new app with a brand new listening experience. Definitely check it out. I think you will enjoy it. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Bank of Baroda and CoinSwitch Kuber. Thank you so much for making this possible.
JD Majethia is with us and talking about Wagle Ki Duniya, which, by the way, over about 300 episodes or so in 1 year cannot be easy, trying to match it with what's going on in the world. So they have to almost write on the spot, and same actors, but everybody else, he's got a whole team. So Silvery, this is our producer Silvery, also known as Antariksh. JD.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. JD.
I thought Ranbir Kapoor aa gaya yaar.
Exactly. Garibon ka Ranbir Kapoor. Yeah.
I sincerely firstly Ranbir. I mean it.
So, sir, this Ranbir Kapoor will do a show of yours also. Huh? Don't worry.
Please.
Yeah.
It'll be a pleasure.
No.
And he'll do it at those Ranbir Kapoor ka rates also. It's all good.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely.
Shawik sent a message.
और वो रणबीर कपूर का कौन सा रेट मालूम है? वो सावरिया में वो सावरिया नहीं, वो एक पिक्चर में ब्लैक में असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर था.
करेक्ट.
उसकी पहला.
वो रेट पे डन.
But Shawik has sent a message. Antariksh, if you don't have a beard like this 30 years later, we'll quit watching the show. JD,
that's a glorious beard.
This beard?
He will have the same beard. The color will be mine. Take my color.
Absolutely.
But I mean, JD, you generally remember the mustache because that was his early look. And we don't have so much time. I want to quickly just mention JD is
Yeah.
like a legend from Gujarati theatre, Hindi theatre, television. He's a guy who comes from everywhere. You know, he's not there's nothing is not done. I can't think of. I mean, we discussed corporate films, AVs, live shows, obviously of all kinds, and then television ka baap, and of course films as well. So, JD, remember you were going to do that? What is that show which you cast Bhaktiyar in? It's based on one English.
हाँ Batli wala house number 43.
That one.
Kumar Z 42 का.
Kumar Z
we do the
42.
Kumar Z 42.
Yeah. You had come to meet us. I wish I had done that show. It was
I
yeah,
wish.
a funny show.
Yeah. They are so funny, yeah.
Silver, you've seen it. It's about a Parsi family. The English version is about an Indian family in England. So cultural, mistakes there.
Yeah.
And here it is a Indian Parsi family in India with their, anglicized attitude to Indianness and that culture. It's damn good. Just great idea.
It's about minority, like a minority,
yeah,
how the Indian family is, and then they deal with
the real minority, bhai. The real minority is so small. Nobody knows.
That's why we wanted to go to have Parsi.
Yeah.
Atish's idea that we go for minority Parsi.
Great concept.
JD sir, there is a question for you along those lines only of what Cyrus just said from Girish Patil.
Yeah.
He says, JD, what are your future projects? Do you have any plan to produce a series based on a middle-aged Parsi gentleman living in a poor neighborhood of Malabar Hill with his family?
This is not such a paradoxical question. Huh? This is true. People think Malabar Hill is filled with money. Malabar Hill was filled with money in the 80s. Okay, now a lot of people have lost their money. And yeah, I'll tell you honestly, the money is in Bandra and beyond. This is all old wealth which is fading and gone. So in many cases, it's a wrong attitude to think that because you live in Malabar Hill or Kaffrade, you're loaded. That's not
true.
true.
A lot of them have moved to suburbs.
That's a sign of success. Look at Rohan Joshi, the comic. He grew up opposite me. Now he's living in Andheri with lots of money and Mercedes and all that. I live with my family, with my parents at age 50.
But in a way, on a serious note, the culture really, for a lot of people have moved from town. When I visit town these days, I feel that something is missing, which was there earlier. That some certain, because the mall culture, the culture of the mall, which is now, you see, I stay in Goregaon, right opposite Infinity Mall. When I see everything is, just at a, walking distance. I walk from my house, one step is in Infinity, and दूसरा कदम रखता हूं तो in orbit है. वगैरह वगैरह. तो the culture has changed because the space. Town mein, I don't know whether you have garden in your society and huge park.
No, JD, I'll tell you, your area is more vibrant. All these areas are more vibrant. There are things happening. The center of the mall only allows you to see people, energy, all that. Our place, there's nothing. There are shops to buy provisions. Uske alawa, there's nothing else. There's no hospital. There's no cinema. There's no restaurant. There's no small Shetty Khana, Udupi, nothing. Illa. Zero. So that's the big problem, is that we are just like a dead place, literally, and it's become like a less conscious sort of place of Mumbai. There's only one way to change this. You take all the politicians who live here to your side. Once you do that, we will revive this side. Okay? Please, can you do that? I'm begging you, sir. I'll pay for the show. No.
Yeah, इसलिए the Parsis are so poor. Their poverty line is 90,000 rupees. So
there are poor Parsis. That's not fair. And the panchayat, for all the things that people criticize them, do look after quite a few. So I don't think that's fully fair. In fact, I myself, I've not got that much money. So I'm happy to JD.
Sure.
We're back to middle class mentality and thinking about money and kharcha and paisa and how we are all suffering. Yes. Which is Wagle Ki Duniya in a sense. The balance sheet is always part of the conversation, either unconsciously or consciously, right? And hence Mrs. Wagle comes into play all the time because she's the one on top of it. Yeah. Again, this is true of most mothers.
Yeah. If this guy asks me, what are you doing? Like, will you make a show for the middle class family, Parsi, etc., 90,000? So he wants me to make a show like Wagle with a Parsi guy, which will be called Wagle Ki Duniya. Wagle Ki Duniya. The Parsi guy, I had a boss. I can say his name was Bana. I was working in Mudra Communication. So ek bar, I had fortunately good demotivating bosses. That's why I could leave the job. I thank them all. So, and my dear Bana was one of them.
Silvery, you don't leave the job, huh? You don't leave the job.
Not yet. No,
Bana will laugh at it. I'm very sure wherever if he sees this, वो हंसेगा. हम लोग ना financial advertising करते थे. उसमें ना इतना थप्पी ना issue का आता है. तो Bana has to sign all कि भाई मैंने सब proof check किया है, छोटा भी mistake नहीं रहेगा, because एक शेयर्स का इश्यू आता था ना, इक्विटी, तो इतना हर लैंग्वेज का उसमें प्रूफ रीडिंग करना पड़ता है, तो सैटरडे संडे भी काम करना पड़ता था हमको। तो बाना नेवर वांटेड टू वर्क ऑन अ सैटरडे। बियर सुबह लंच में लेके बोला घर पे सोएगा इधर कौन। वन फाइन डे व्हेन वी वर चेकिंग द कॉपी, बिकॉज मंडे से बैठ जाना था, तो आई सेड ये आपको साइन करना पड़ेगा, तू कर देना। बोला आई कांट साइन फॉर यू। देखा करना यार। एंड आई सेड हेलो, ये वी कैन बी, अरे ये तू और मैं नहीं पढ़ रहा है तो ये दूसरा कौन पढ़ेगा यार। ही वॉज वन पर्सन, ही सेड कि तू करना यार। नाउ दैट इज नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल। एंड आई सेड ये मरवाएगा।
Was his name Bana or Bahana?
परवेज बाना मारने वाला है मेरे को। But I loved working with him. And coming back to, we were talking about, you said in short you want to know about my looks and other things, or if you have a topic of priority, इससे ज्यादा कुछ important topic है तो अपन पहले cover करते हैं।
Correct.
You know what happened in lockdown? I realized lockdown parlors बंद था, सलून बंद था, बाकी तो हमारे 1.5-2 महीने में कलर कल के निकलते थे। तो वन फाइन डे बाल इतना आने लगा सफेद सफेद सफेद। रियलाइज काला तो इधर चला गया, काला इधर लटकता था। आई सेड हेलो, आई हैव ग्रोन कंप्लीट व्हाइट फॉर अ ईयर। यू डोंट गो टू अ सलून। यू रियलाइज अच्छा घर में काटने का हिम्मत नहीं था। बियर्ड थोड़ा पहले शेव करता था। एज एन एक्टर आई ऑलवेज फाउंड इट वेरी बोरिंग टू शेव एवरी डे, तो मैंने बियर्ड भी ग्रो किया। उसको पहले था पर बियर्ड को भी कलर करने लगा था मैं।
नॉर्मल बियर्ड
तो
था,
नॉर्मल बियर्ड था। देन आई सेड नहीं तो बड़ा एंड देन वन फाइन डे आई कॉल्ड माय फ्रेंड आलिम हकीम। आई सेड यार आलिम, आई कांट टेक दिस, आई वांट टू।
Hey, now middle class has gone out of the window. Let me tell you, Silvery, about Alim. Alim ka race to one episode of Wagle Ki Duniya. So when he says my friend Alim, the whole story has changed. Where was a middle class experience? या घर पे कोई है नहीं, I can't afford Alim coming home. My God, bro. 2 episodes are done. Budget हो गया.
I thank
Purple
you, thank
Patches
you.
says beard looks hot, sir.
Hot.
और wife की birthday है आज, to be careful. But wife is not at home, so you can be less careful.
So when I went and I wanted to know, the COVID time was such, no, that I said ना ये outer look change, inner look भी change करना पड़ेगा towards the society, to the world, and outer look भी change करना पड़ेगा। And I walked into Alim's parlor. 1 hour he just आता था, मुझे देखता था, आता था, मुझे देखता। He is a designer, I must say, Alim is a designer. देखता था। Then he took 3 hours. मेरा उसके बाद का सब मीटिंग रखा था, सब कैंसिल। एक मीटिंग को तो मैंने बुलाया, उसमें उषा लक्ष्मण उनके पार्टनर थे, उनको मैंने वहां पे वागले का डील फाइनल हो रहा था। आई सेड कैन यू कम प्लीज हियर इन बैंड्रा, आलिम्स के पार्लर के बाहर बैठ के हमने मीटिंग किया है, बिकॉज मेरा टाइम सब जा रहा था। एंड इट वाज 28th of December if I remember, and he was designing. मैं अपने आप को मिरर में देखा, देन आई सेड, पहले आई वाज लाइक अरे माय गॉड, विल आई बी एबल टू कैरी दिस, माय नेम इज जमुना दास। ऐसे जमुना दास के चेहरे पे ये अच्छा लगता है क्या? I met them. I had a meeting with the guy I mentioned, Neeraj Vyas, Aatish and all. We were meeting for Wagle then. 2 back-to-back meetings. I went there and they were like, my God, JD, तूने ये क्या किया? Stunning वाली को तूने ये क्या किया? I said, चलो ना काम की बात करते हैं। Change लग रहा है, JD looking so different. तो मुझे लगा पहले दोस्त लोग मस्ती कर रहे हैं. I was not too sure. ये मस्ती कर रहे हैं. Then we were sitting in such a way. सामने के टेबल पे there were 3 girls who came. Young 3 girls. ओके, एंड यहाँ मीटिंग चल रहा है, एंड हमारा यहाँ मीटिंग चल रहा है, एंड यूजुअली यू व्हेन सम गुड लुकिंग गर्ल्स वॉक इन, इट्स अ नॉर्मल थिंग, यू नो ध्यान जाता है।
हम दोनों से क्यों पूछ रहा हूँ यार? We have given full permission.
Just trying to be PC.
We are not the police. We are not the moral police. You can look.
Go ahead.
नहीं, मेरा वाइफ मेरा प्रोग्राम देखती है बाद में।
Now too late यार, तूने बहुत मेंशन किया।
That's all because of you. You brought it out of, you gave me the point.
You may have to stay at Alim's clinic only after this.
So with those, they were sitting there, and you know, they were looking at me constantly. They were almost kind of talking. Trust me. They were talking. Yeah, they recognized me.
Yeah.
And they were discussing about me. So I could make out कि ये टेबल पे ना मेरा बात हो रहा है. So मैं ऐसे ना स्क्रिप्ट का भी डिस्कशन है, उधर भी ध्यान जा रहा है, लड़कियों पे भी ऐसे होता है. After 15-20 minutes, one girl did this sign.
Wow.
And I was like, I said, hello.
Pass हो गया.
Now don't look there. Now I could tell them कि साला तुम लोग मेरा मस्ती कर रहा था ना, Now don't look there. Now don't look there. But these girls are talking about me. And then whenever I came home, my family was, oh my God. And then wherever I got, I have never received such kind of compliments in my entire lifetime. आज तो मैं थोड़ा ठीक नहीं हूँ. सुबह सुबह जल्दी आ गया. But when I went to Kapil's show, you look at the kind of responses I've got. I want to say one thing. I couldn't age gracefully. Honestly, अंदर से ना, you have to change yourself to accept your age. I could never play a father of a young daughter. मेरा age है, पर मेरे मन से ना, as an actor, I still am that खिचड़ी का हिमांशु. I can't think beyond परमिंदर. कि नहीं मैं तो हीरो ही हूँ यार. मैं परमिंदर के साथ ही रोल करूंगा. I have refused so many ad films, Cyrus, I can't tell you. But this look, I could age gracefully. Now I say, अरे white है तो क्या है? Superb है यार. Because I got comment. I never got compliment like you look hot. आज दिन में 2 smiley तो hot आता है.
So you inspired me also.
This is the real part of the podcast. This is what we discussed in the beginning.
I have to color my hair white now and grow my beard full. That's
Shovik is saying, bring on JD with Milind Soman because they're the two guys who age like fine wine. क्या compliment है? आज भी मिला है sir. आज भी मिला है. तेरा average वही है. 2 per hour. 2 per hour compulsory will come.
I felt very good. Once I saw a meme with Milind Soman or मेरा picture. Milind was in a singlet. I can't dare to do that. But there was a picture of 2 of us, guys who have grown up, age gracefully. So I appreciate, I enjoy. Thank you. I love compliments.
You have caught up with Milind Soman. One point, he was the national icon in terms of best looking Indian male, blah, 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 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Today, you and him are together. So you have caught up with him after 30 years. It was fantastic. There's a comment saying that I'm like somebody's uncle, huh? Binny always clean shave. So इसमें compliment भी है और गाली भी है. This is not right. Slapping with the backhand.
No. I take it as a compliment. Only I've learned one thing, that whenever people comment on you, you're worth commenting. You're important. That's a compliment.
Someone was telling me, JD, this is not a joke. Ki stop getting angry when they call you uncle. Because when they start calling you Dada and things like that, you will want uncle. You will go back and say, uncle, come se kam bolo. So just think of it in perspective. Always, it's like life.
Yeah. Always be hopeful. Look at, you'll be futuristic.
Rohit Sharma is saying you should send Bollywood heroes to Alim's parlor so that they can also age correctly. Yeah.
True. Alim keeps doing that. उनको young दिखाने में भी Alim का बड़ा role है. I told Alim, you have played, you don't know what, you have a important role in shaping the Indian cricket team's performance. क्या बात करता है? I said क्या होता है ना?
धोनी का क्या था?
धोनी to so many people, Hardik Pandya to so many guys. जितने भी अचानक पहला 2 मैच में सीधे बाल वाले आते हैं ना?
How they change यार, JD?
One good performance.
2 मैच के बाद, the next time they come with the hair.
I'm telling you ना, perform good, bowling, batting, सब concentration. One good match, एक IPL contract, they straight at Alim's parlor. They
17 tattoos.
70 and the kind of spikes and all. मैच के पहले ना नेट प्रैक्टिस से ज्यादा अलीम के पार्लर में मिलते. सर आज ना मैं ओपन करने वाला हूँ बॉलिंग में, जरा इधर उधर कट मत डाल दो.
नहीं, वानखेड़े स्टेडियम के बाहर एक पार्लर ही है अभी, because so that they save time. BCCI has insisted.
We've discussed
there are tons of AMAs for JD.
Take otherwise you won't get time for that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you questions. A live show also. Bolo.
Please.
So
please go ahead.
Follow me at Instagram and Twitter on Bored Brocha. I'm so bored. I need your help. I need your love. I need your touch. Okay, just follow me.
Bhavin Sony has asked, I really want to know how him and Aatish write character quirks. I can easily name 40 character quirks and all are different. Even small characters like Dasani in Wagle Ki Duniya or Madhusudan in Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai.
I would say major, when I say 3, almost all credits for characters goes to Aatish Kapadia.
Quirks, character ka quirk.
Quirk, Aatish is a quirky. Cyrus, you and Aatish should do one show. You will have a time of a lifetime. Oh, outstanding, spontaneous guy. He works on characters. Then we take it forward. Our major shows, be it Khichdi, Sarabhai, it's Aatish who's written these quirks, and he's a mad guy. Then we together work on designing and other things. But I cannot take it's not only my friend, but my business partner is a producer with me. And he's written best of our shows, best director, and and is like a guy, uska humor na unbelievable hai yaar. You must do a show with him.
And partnership is how long, yeah, JD? At least
30, we go
30
long
plus?
way back, 36, 37 years, friends. And we
37
were
years to
writing from
companies.
school. See,
Wow.
company is more than 25 years old, but we were friends. College mein main likhta tha. You know, I got them all in one skit. On a one fine day, I was writing comedy skits and all, which were doing fantastically well on college day. 2-3 साल हो गया. मेरा स्क्रिप्ट के लिए तो बड़े बड़े लोग वेट करते थे. अरे जेडी का प्रोग्राम जमुना दास नो शो જોઈને જવું છે. And one fine day I was writing in a library and मेरे को लगा मेरा कुछ और काम था. I was GS also of college and you know I used to be wearing multiple hats. तो I said आतिश ये जरा कंप्लीट करेगा क्या? उसने मैंने उसका एक प्ले देखा था. बोला तू लिखेगा क्या? ये पूरा कर देना. Now that comes Yadav Saab, my driver, and he goes back.
Because you have to go somewhere.
Very important character of my life. So
wrong entry.
He's there with me since like.
But he's in the script.
In the script.
Sorry.
20 years से मेरा driver है. So that means I have a car since 20 years. यार वाह. तो.
But it would be funny if you didn't have a car. अभी तो car ले लिया. Driver तो कब से?
Driver पहले से था car. So coming back to, I gave, you know why you have to take a right decision. I'm a very good producer, I would say. You know why? A producer has to have a right sense of, you know, picking the talent. So जब मैंने कॉलेज में वो देखा ना, मैंने आतिश को ये कंप्लीट करके ना, ये जरा मैंने लिखा है इसको जरा देखना, फेयर करना, इसको कंप्लीट करना, बिकॉज आई हैड टू गो फॉर माय जीएस का मीटिंग एक्सेट्रा. आतिश ने जो लिखा ना उसको करेक्ट किया और बेटर किया ना, ऐसे लिखना तो तेरे को ही चाहिए. And since then, I depended more on him. But then also I did one mistake in my life. Then I started depending on him only for writing. Now again with Wagle, and few years back I started writing for Midday, and I've started full-fledged writing again after a few years. So it is always why I'm sharing this all, because I felt that had I started writing earlier, I could have done, you know, a lot other extra work. Then we are strength 1 + 1 can make it 11. But Aatish is outstanding guy, outstanding humor. And that's how we work. I look after most of the time of production, creative production, supervising, handling issues, casting along with him only. And he takes a lot of script and then, you know, we take it forward together. But you will always find credits in our company.
I'm just want to correct it a little bit, Silvery, because JD is a very modest guy and he comes from a world where people don't do self-tarif and all that. Fair enough. Point of the matter is that he has been top of the line with super successful shows. He understands the pulse of the people. He reads from whether it's a college where he worked in first, wherever he is now, national and let's call it international stage. It's more than the country. He does all that correctly. And please understand that he is actually like the father. Without him, nothing functions. So with due respect to Aatish, who's a great talent, I don't deny what he's saying about Aatish. You know, JD is a very special person in the history of Indian television and Indian entertainment. We must understand that. And I am calling the Ministry of Culture for all the recognition that he should get. And all
no,
this,
whatever I said for Aatish is every word is true. Huh? Trust me.
Correct.
And he's
No
like,
doubt.
you know, I kacha kela, correct. I'm saying why? You know why? I want to say on this show. And Cyrus, people like us will also and always be, our country is poor in appreciating the guy who writes.
True.
And that's where I want to say that we have been behind in terms of entertainment because the country has not learned to respect writers. They are the real storytellers, creators.
And JD, in some instances, don't jail the writers. That's another story for another day. But I mean, forget appreciate. Yeah. JD for
Padma. Absolutely. Yep. Tarun Kaushik asks, how was Sarabhai Sarabhai conceptualized and who wrote Rosesh's poems on the show?
Aatish. You know what happened? Sarabhai mein ek story thoda, we were doing Khichdi. Now you know how people stereotype you. Khichdi successful ho gaya. तो एक चैनल था, उन्होंने बोला एक खिचड़ी जैसा कुछ करके दो नाम को. तो ऐसे खिचड़ी जैसा करने का मतलब कि खिचड़ी तो चल रहा है. एंड वी वर फ्रॉम थिएटर, सो वी सेड कि हम कभी भी एक प्ले रिपीट नहीं करते हैं, हमको कुछ अलग करना है. तो वो हंस रहा था कि तू बेटा टेलीविजन में अभी आया है, जब एक चलेगा ना तो ऐसा देख 4 चलाते हैं. और उसने एक एग्जांपल भी दिया था कि तू सारा देख जा एक चैनल, उसमें सब सिमिलर शोज रखने से फायदा होता है, एक का ट्रैक दूसरे में, दूसरे का ट्रैक तीसरे में, और सब चलता है. तो ऐसे नहीं यार, हम लोग ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, हमको आता ही नहीं वैसा. एंड हमारा मेहनत इतना खिचड़ी में था, खून गिरता था यार. एंड दिस गाय सेज खिचड़ी जैसा कुछ दो लेडी. सो आफ्टर दैट व्हेन we said कि यार ये डरने जैसी बात है, that now we are stereotyped कि हमको ऐसा ही एक पागल जैसा गुजराती फैमिली का ऐसा ही श्योर गुजराती इतने पागल सिर्फ एक टाइप के नहीं होते, अलग अलग टाइप के पागल होते हैं. तो we were less and we were called from our channel जिस पे ये आया था. अभी मैं आप सब जानते हैं कौन सी चैनल पे आया था. I don't know whether you will be allowed to take the name, but we must take the name of Star One. यार
तू राइम करो, राइम कर लो.
नहीं ज्यादा देर टाइम जाएगा स्टार का साइन बनाने में. तो
डोंट मेंशन इट यार, यू आर फाइन.
तो हम स्टार वन का नाम नहीं लेते हैं. ओके, तो इट केम ऑन वन गुड चैनल.
नहीं करेगा हम लोग.
And they called us, and I must thank Samir, Deepak. They called us and said कि ना एक लाइफस्टाइल का चैनल है बड़ा, टीवी से एक लाइफस्टाइल हो ऐसा चैनल आ रहा है, and create a show for us which is ऐसा, and we wanted to do something completely away from खिचड़ी. So said खिचड़ी से दूर करना है ना, तो ऐसा लाइफस्टाइल से किसी का भी एक्सेंट गुजराती जैसा नहीं है साराभाई में. You will not find even in खिचड़ी if you go to see,
that's true.
except Hansa or then Himanshu. But then we made Sara versus Sarabhai, and you rest is history. Atish's family, I am not supposed to speak. He has a family which lived in town, and he knew some characters speak like this, especially Roshesh. He told Roshesh कि ऐसे बोलना है. One fine day after a month, Rajesh Kumar, nobody thought. See, a strength of our show, our company's unpredictability of casting. The kind of people we cast now, you will not expect Anand Desai when we cast him in Babuji, Khichdi. उसके पहले Anand Desai ने comedy नहीं किया था. Supriya Pathak was perceived as a very different person, Kalyug and very serious kind of actor. So we always, like Rajiv Mehta who played Praful, वो negative role करता था हमारे एक show में. तो we always go for a casting which can surprise you. We know the talent capacity of the actor, so now we can cast Cyrus Brocha in a very very serious character, emotion, रुकता हो.
Traffic jam में बहुत serious हो जाता है. Just put me in the traffic jam. And we've got Ranbir Kapoor भी है अभी. You got personal relations.
Yeah, correct, absolutely.
So coming back, you look a bit like Ranbir Kapoor. He's right. The face structure now, when I think about it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Now you got
high praise. Thank you.
No, unfortunately, Ranbir may not like it, but we should.
Yeah, I love it. Ranbir, sorry, buddy. Sorry, man. You look like Antariksh, Ranbir. Nice.
And so many people would less okay, कुछ नाम आया मेरे नाम से. So I'm coming back to so I am coming back to Rosesh's poems. अरे क्या, and some poems you all have not heard. We have heard which were deleted, which were not part of the show. Outstanding poems, and when he used to come and read the scripts, we all used to go mad. So this is how Sarabhai was conceived. This is how Sarabhai was made, and we still wish to make Sarabhai, one more season. And because the fans, they've asked, and I also want to share this credit on your platform, Cyrus, Antariksh, that Sarabhai na itna bada show तभी नहीं था. When we made it, didn't even rate properly. उधर Great Indian Laughter Challenge, because Indian audience ना उसको time लगता है. Our country's literacy rate is not great. We all know that.
Yeah. It's true.
So Sarabhai का humor समझने को थोड़ा वक्त लगा लोगों को, and it was weekly, once a week. It is about television was about a viewing pattern, and तब dailies ने बराबर ना वो एक सबको सकंजे में ले लिया था. तो एवरी डे वॉच करते हो, आपको हैबिट हो गई, फिर आप वही देखते हो. तो मंडे साराभाई याद करके आना भी लोगों के लिए डिफिकल्ट है. विद सच अ स्टेलर स्टार कास्ट यार ऑन टेलीविजन.
जी बिल्कुल.
तो वो नहीं हो रहा था. थोड़े टाइम के बाद पर बिकॉज तारीफ इतनी हो रही थी, तो वो चला. देन व्हेन खत्म हो गया, बंद किया, देयर वर मल्टीपल रीजंस. तो स्टार वन ने फिर उसको एज डेली स्ट्रिप चलाना चालू किया, तो लोगों को अच्छा लगा. इट स्टार्टेड रेटिंग बेटर. रिपीट में रेटिंग आया. फिर यूट्यूब, तभी तो प्लेटफॉर्म्स भी नहीं थे, तो फिर वहां से people watched again and I have come across people who watched it more than 50-60 times, and so many of them, kids who are not even born then, they are fans of Sarabhai and today. So what happens, वो ना उन्होंने जो था ना उससे बड़ा बना दिया. तो आज ऐसी कुछ फिल्म है, नाम नहीं ले सकता हूं मैं, कि जो मेकर से तो अपनी शिद्दत से बहुत सिंसियरिटी से बनाई. हम तो साराभाई जैसा काम मेहनत तो आज भी हम उतनी ही करते हैं. वी वर्क, आई फील आई वर्क मोर ऑन वागलेस एंड साराभाई से साराभाई में जितना काम किया होगा, बिकॉज वो वीकली आता था. पर आप देखो उसको साराभाई, तो आई वांट टू थैंक एवरी फैन ऑफ साराभाई that it is no more just our property. आज पिछले 10 साल
JD, this is the wrong place to do that. Wrong place. There are only 4 fans of this show. So, all the Sarabhai fans will बहुत लोग हैं.
One second, I'll come to one more thing. पिछले 10 साल में हमने जितना साराभाई के लिए लिखा नहीं है ना, उतना फैंस ने लिखा है. अभी साराभाई वही लोग लिखते हैं. You see the gags, the memes, you see the kind of poems they write on their social media platform. There are 100 writers which are floated in the.
JD, इसमें एक irony है. The great Indian laughter, nobody wants to watch the show later on in life. Well, Sarabhai grows more with time. You see that? That's the huge difference.
Yeah.
I call myself bada bachcha.
So you asking about Khichdi now?
Yes. So even Khichdi, like I know enough people who have seen it again and again, like 50, 60 times, and they still love the jokes, and it all still holds up. It's a
दारू पीने को चालू किया अभी सुबह. What is this, JD? Drinking on the show. पानी है.
I wish I could afford to be here because Sunday.
मजा आ गई. You got a fan who's Himisha.
De Silva telling me मजा आ गई. Wow, cast the perfect.
But Himisha, we don't know now every genesis of each person, and also the handles people use. When people have names like Bubblegum, you don't know anything.
One guy messaged me every day, super busy. I said, "तू super busy? मेरे को message क्यों करता है? मैं जानता भी नहीं तेरे को." About Khichdi, I would like to say one very interesting thing. You fans, you said no. We have met many people. Lata ji was big fan of Sarabhai. I it was like, "Arey, Sarabhai ka fan Lata Mangeshkar was." And I would like to say 2 actors who are fantastic actors. And when they met us and told us, "Khichdi, arey tum log," and Sridevi and Rishi Kapoor Saab. बाकी का नाम नहीं ले रहा हूं मैं. We have come across people who have seen Khichdi the movie from the film industry to what कैसे लोगों को मिले यार. Like I always, that's why I say इतना अच्छे से शिद्दत से काम करो. Cyrus, about money I would come secondary. मेरा बहुत प्रोड्यूसर मेरा चैनल में बोलेगा तू तो बोलता था ना इतना पैसा doesn't matter, काम matters, तो ले काम.
तू गुजराती मानस चाहिए.
But I've always believed in it. And I would like to tell everyone who watches this show, just try to excel in everything you do and money will chase you. Money will follow. Even if it didn't chase us. But I'm still telling you, the kind of goodwill, the kind of love, respect you get is much beyond money. And ultimately, after a point of life, we all are middle class. एक अच्छा घर, एक गाड़ी के बाद दूसरा कुछ होता नहीं है जिंदगी में. बट काम आपका जिंदगी भर रहता है, वही आपके साथ जाता है, आपके बाद भी रहता है.
मैं क्लैरिफाई करता है बच्चा के लिए, because Silver is very young. What he's saying is, you do what you want, be successful, just do with your passion, but don't take a second wife, because that will be very costly.
Got it. Thank you.
Understand what he's trying to say here.
I was totally misunderstood. Right. All right.
Chalo.
Dad, I have to break up with my second wife now. Okay, fine.
Yeah, you'll have to go back to your first. JD, it's been a great pleasure, but Yadav ji has come twice, I think. He needs you to go somewhere. But honestly, congratulations on your entire career and the work that you've given us. Not just the 3 iconic shows that we just talked about, but everything else. From the beginning.
If you want to hear one very interesting last story of Khichdi,
yes, please.
Absolutely, sir.
Know me as Himanshu. I was not supposed to play this role of Himanshu in Khichdi. It was Deven Bhujani. हम लोग yes.
But look बहुत अलग है.
बहुत अलग है.
I mean, he's not to be rude, but he's a little bit plump.
And I am not sure had Deven Bhujani played the character of Himanshu, whether this movie could have happened with a love story or not. Khichdi the movie, you know why? There are reasons. We asked Deven Bhujani and हाँ करते हैं. तो एक 7-8 एपिसोड का 5-6 एपिसोड का ही रोल था तभी कि हिमांशु हंसा का भाई आता है. हम दुबई जा रहे थे शूटिंग के लिए. वहां प्रोड्यूसर भी कैसे काम में आते देखना साइरस, कि हम लोग दुबई जा रहे थे और हमने हिमांशु का हंसा का भाई इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे थे. वो फिल्म बना रहा है तो दुबई में जाके शूट करना है विद अ डायरेक्टर. तो देवेन भोजानी ने हाँ बोलता है 5-6 एपिसोड. फिर दुबई का 10-12 दिन का स्केड्यूल था और बजट का ऑलरेडी चैलेंजेस था. फर्स्ट इंटरनेशनल मेरा एज अ प्रोड्यूसर फर्स्ट इंटरनेशनल शूट शेड्यूल था हमारा, तो आतिश बिजी विद डायरेक्टिंग एंड ऑल, एंड हम लोग मैनेज कर रहे, ये परमिशन वो सब चल रहा है। देवेंद्र तभी एक प्ले में काम कर रहा था, तो देवेंद्र ने बोला यार मेरा ना बीच में ये 10-11 दिन का जो स्केड्यूल उसमें एक शो आ गया, तो आई सेड यार देवेंद्र आई कांट, सो एक दिन भेज दे, खाली एक दिन भेज दे। तो ऐसे चलो एक टिकट हो गया देवेंद्र का, एक दिन सुबह आएगा दुबई से, यहाँ शूटिंग करेगा, शो करेगा, दूसरे दिन आ जाएगा, एक दिन एडजस्टमेंट। 3-4 दिन के बाद देवेंद्र ने दूसरा शो बोला, यार 3 दिन के बाद और एक शो है। आई सेड आई कांट कीप फ्लाइंग यू बैक एंड यू डोंट डू दैट प्लीज, आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू डू इट। बेस्ट फ्रेंड है देवेंद्र मेरा, देवेंद्र हमारा सबका ग्रुप एक। तो इससे एक काम करना जेडी, ऐसे भी ना ये मेरे को ना कंटिन्यूस जो आए ना फैमिली में वैसा रोल दो ना, ये 5-6 एपिसोड में क्या कर रहा है, मेरे को ऐसे रोल में कास्ट करो ना कि मैं फैमिली में रह जाऊं तो मजा आएगा अपना। थोट यार आई से कांट प्रॉमिस देवेंद्र, पर है बात तो मैं और आतिश ने बोला उसको कि हाँ पर है, चलो देखते हैं। एक दूसरे एक्टर को पूछा, वो आज बड़ा फिल्म डायरेक्टर है उमेश शुक्ला, वो भी अच्छा एक्टर है, उसको पूछा कि तू आएगा, तो उमेश बोलता है कि मैं देखता हूँ 1-2 दिन। अब 2 दिन बाकी थे, तो द चैनल सेड दे न्यू आई एम एन एक्टर एंड आतिश सेड एंड एवरीबॉडी सेड कि सर एक ईपी थी हमारी मासूमा, आई कांट यू शी सेड सर अभी आपको करना ही पड़ेगा ये। और मेरे को लगा यार एक आदमी का टिकट का खर्चा, एक आदमी का होटल में रहने का खर्चा, खाना पीना सब मिलके 50,000 रुपया।
This is the most noble reasons available.
And we had
tying
to
the
shoot
show from the beginning to the end perfectly, sir.
because you said no, पैसे के बारे में प्रोड्यूसर बात नहीं करता है, तो मुझे क्लाइमेक्स में आपको ये बात बोलना था that how sometime decision.
Oh no.
Oh, JD ka, the moment he gave us his lovely story. Is it him or me? Silvery?
It's JD Says internet, not yours, not yours, Cyrus.
Okay.
Oh no,
right.
We should wait for him for a minute. He was just finishing his story.
I know. I mean, he's finished the story, but he was just giving the extra reference after that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had done one more sentence, we could have ended it peacefully. Yeah.
You're getting the moral.
I think we could dub. We could dub
something
it
about
now.
money. Something about how money makes decisions easier sometimes, right? I think that's what it was.
No, it's an accidental situation. He was forced to put himself in the role, and then he became a super hit overnight.
Yeah.
And completely because he was trying to save money, and he was forced to do it because they weren't willing to come, or they wanted to keep going the options that he had. That's the story. So, gaya. Okay. Doesn't matter. Thank you, JD, for joining us. Sorry we couldn't say bye properly, but for those of you who watched the show, JD, the legend himself, and please go and watch Wagle Ki Duniya, which will also have Silvery in a couple of episodes next week, apparently. Is that
Ranbir Kapoor, you mean?
Ranbir Kapoor.
From now on, I insist on being referred to only as Ranbir. I'm not going to answer to Antriksh anymore. This is Ranbir Kapoor.
I think so, because the moment he said it, then I started realizing you do have a resemblance. The shape of the face is similar. The shape of the face is similar, except if you take the glasses, take the glasses off for 1 second.
Shape of the face. My eyes are very close by, so probably not.
Yeah. All right. I think it's horrific. Put the glasses back on and shut the show. End the show. Please. Enough is enough. Thank you, JD. And see everybody soon. You are Silvery to us.
Yes.
Bye, Shruti.
Thank you.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Habits? Routines? How exactly do they help us get better? Well, to simplify it for you, tune in to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashton Doctor, and I'm going to be here to help you get better daily with some simple, easy-to-do habits that you can easily adapt to your life. So tune in to the Habit Coach podcast from Monday to Friday, because I believe that awesome lives start with awesome habits.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.